Kedah Darul Aman.
The oldest state in Malaysia, blessed with beautiful land, culture and heritage that could be traced back to 630 AD. Widely known as the Rice Bowl of Malaysia, Kedah is a land of lush green landscape of the vast paddy fields and level topography. As the largest producer of rice in Malaysia, Kedah supplies more than half of the country's homegrown rice to the nation. Located in the northern state of Peninsular Malaysia, Kedah is bounded by Perak and shares an international border with Songkhla and Yala, provinces of Thailand. The state of Kedah is divided into 11 districts: Kubang Pasu, Pulau Langkawi, Padang Terap, Kota Star, Pendang, Sik, Yan, Kuala Muda, Baling, Kulim and Bandar Baharu. The history could be traced back to the prehistoric period recorded in the archaeological site of Bujang Valley. This site marked the early maritime trading activity in Kedah. The strategic location as an entrepot brings traders from India, Middle East, China and Persia to Kedah to widen the trading relationship here. The traders travelled to Tanah Melayu through the Straits of Malacca. The arrival of those traders resulted in the variety of belief, culture and ethnic of the local community. The religion of Islam was brought to Kedah through the Arab traders' open missionary during their transit. Although Islam came to Malay Peninsula in the 9th century, that ended the age of Hinduism and Buddhism as the main religion. The traders who brought Islam were merchants and missionaries. According to Anthony Milner, 1892, Islam arrived in the region gradually. It became the religion of the elites before it spreaded to the commoners. The coming of Islam to Kedah brought some Muslim scholars to educate people on the religion. The beginning of the usage of the title Sultan in Kedah was attributed to a visit by a Muslim scholar from Yemen named Sheikh Abdullah bin Ja'far Qamiri to Durbar Raja II's palace in Bukit Meriam in 1136. This event contributed in the Raja's conversion to Islam. After the mass conversion, many teachers went to study at Mecca in Saudi Arabia to become scholars themselves. Kedah, as the oldest state in Malaysia, accepted Islam as a state religion and many madrasah and pondok were established. One of the earliest places to establish the madrasah is Langgar. Pekan Langgar, a small town in the district of Kota Star located approximately 8 kilometers from Alor Star, the capital city. It was believed to exist since the 1700s when Sultan Abdullah Muazzam Shah was laid to rest in 1706. Since then, various members of the Kedah's royal household, including sultans and their consorts, were buried at the Kedah Royal Mausoleum at Langgar. The settlement around Langgar started from Sungai Langgar that connects the town to Bukit Pinang. The river is believed to be the main transportation medium for the villagers from one place to another.
Istilah Langgar kita boleh ada dua makna, ada dua aspek. Satunya ialah tempat pemakaman kerabat diraja. Sebab apa saya kata macam tu? Sebab bukan Langgar Kedah saja yang ada. Kita ada Langgar, nama Langgar ni di Pekan Pahang, di Kelantan, di mana lagi pun ada lagi nama Langgar. Jadi pemakaman, tempat pemakaman keluarga diraja. Yang keduanya, ini adalah daripada istilah Parsi bermaksud pondok pengajian. Jadi yang mana satu yang betul tu tak pastilah, tetapi dua-dua aspek ni ada di Langgar Kedah ni.
According to the tradition of the ulama or Muslim scholar, once a scholar finishes his studies with a senior ulama or teacher, he needs to return and contribute to society by establishing a madrasah or pondok which remains as the focal point for people to seek Islamic knowledge. According to history, Islam has shaped the culture around Langgar as it is well known for its educational purposes, which has Islamic schools, madrasah and pondok. Some of the pondok at Langgar are Pondok Tasak, Pondok Tok Janggut, Pondok Tuan Haji Hussein, Madrasah Taklim Ad-Diniyah, Pondok Tuan Haji Abdullah Kecil and Maktab Mahmud Pokok Sena. Madrasah Tok Janggut. It is believed to be the oldest existing pondok in Langgar after Pondok Tasak. Located approximately 10 kilometers from Alor in Kampung Pondok Tok Janggut, Makam Diraja, the madrasah was built on tanah wakaf, thus developing the area into a village of pondok. Tuan Haji Ahmad Tua, founder of Madrasah Tok Janggut, was a former student of Pondok Tasak. Around the age of 30 years old, Haji Ahmad Tua built his own madrasah in Langgar, and the construction was believed to be around the 1850s. Constructed with the help of villagers and students of the pondok, it took 3 years to complete. Madrasah Tok Janggut was built by the community of the pondok, which were of local Malays and foreigners from neighbouring areas like Patani and Sumatra. The vernacular architecture of traditional Malay house was used as a reference. Therefore, there are similarities in architectural element and spatial relationships between Madrasah Tok Janggut and the Malay house, such as Rumah Ibu or main house as the main prayer hall, the dapur or kitchen as the female praying area, and the serambi as the male veranda or additional praying area near the entrance. The spaces are analysed as follows. The main prayer hall was designed in a rectangular shape with a niche or mihrab for the imam. The rectangular shape is the most efficient building layout configuration space-wise apart from square shapes to achieve maximum floor area for comfort in performing congregational prayers, as it requires linear arrangements. Female prayer hall, called as Balai Perempuan, was specifically designed to be at the annex of the main prayer hall to fulfill gender segregation required in Islamic law. The hall is rectangular in shape and located on the west side of the building. It was also used to conduct classes apart from being a prayer hall for females. The adaptation of an outdoor area of serambi into the madrasah satisfies the demand of a space for gathering, socializing, resting area, and other activities related to the socio-cultural and religious needs of the community. The flexibility of this space is due to its architectural characteristics, where it is open on all sides with the exception of the side adjoining to the madrasah, visible from the public pathway. The ablution area is provided with a masonry kolah or water tank to hold adequate water to perform wudu as a cleansing process prior to prayers. To support the number of congregation during congregational prayers, the madrasah provides 2 separate ablution areas for the males and females' daily usage. There is a timber platform connecting the madrasah and Tok Janggut's house. It was built to ease the circulation between the 2 spaces without the need to take off footwear. Hence, the convenience for the teacher and imam to conduct classes directly from their house. The minaret is a balai nobat given by the Sultan from Balai Besar Alor that signifies the unique architecture of the madrasah and surau. The minaret serves as a visual focal point or landmark. It is generally used for the Muslims' call to prayer, adhan after the beduk or drum. Madrasah Tok Janggut uses stump foundations in its construction. Each timber columns were constructed on individual stumps in an ordinary manner to support the entire structure. Madrasah Tok Janggut uses different sizes of timber columns made out of kayu tembusu in its construction. It is believed that the construction materials were obtained from many sources and have undergone changes over time due to flood. The columns are classified into 4 sets according to the internal spaces of the madrasah, which are the main prayer hall, female prayer hall, balai nobat, and the ablution area. The first set of columns support the main prayer hall and veranda. There are 6 columns used to support the structure of bumbung panjang with a height of 1,500 mm that are not continuous down to the foundation, but is supported at some intermediate level where the load is transferred to adjacent columns. There are 24 square columns with the dimension of 130 mm by 130 mm and 2,500 mm in height, and 4 circular columns at the entrance with a diameter of 150 mm connected to timber beams using tenon and mortise joint. The second set of columns are located at the female prayer hall. The columns are of the dimension of 125 mm by 125 mm. The spacing between the columns in the female prayer hall are 1,715 mm. The third set of columns are located in the male ablution area. The columns follow the grid of columns in the main prayer hall. There are 4 octagonal shaped columns of approximately 2,076 mm in height with a dimension of 130 mm by 130 mm. The fourth set of columns support the balai nobat, consists of 4 main columns that were given by Sultan Ahmad Tajuddin Mukarram Shah, the 3rd Sultan of Kedah. The span between each of the columns are 3 meters. Meanwhile, smaller columns were used to support the extended roof at the first level of balai nobat. Timber beams that can be found in Surau Tok Janggut are basically connected through the application of tenon and mortise joint technique. The connection of rafters and the roof beams also uses the same traditional technique, with timber pegs or dowels to fasten both joints. This type of joint is used for its aesthetic purposes as well as its versatility that allows it to be dismantled and reconstructed. The floor of Surau Tok Janggut is made of kayu cengal with the combination of kayu giam for the platform which connects Surau Tok Janggut and Rumah Tok Janggut. Mortise and tenon system were used to connect timber beams to the columns before the timber floor joist and timber planks were laid. The planks were laid in opposite directions above the beams to complete the floor system. The roof of the surau is a combination of bumbung panjang, long roof, and bumbung bertingkat, 2-tiered roof. The structural part of the roof is constructed using timber, and the roof was originally covered with nipah palm leaves tied to a batten in equal spacing. The technique of tanggam and tiang gantung were used to support the 2-tiered roof system. There are 4 double-leaf swing panel timber doors, completed with door frames, hinges, and locks that provide security and privacy in separating the indoor and outdoor spaces of the building. The door to the main entrance of the surau is located at the rear area of the main prayer hall, opposite of the mihrab next to the serambi. It has a timber frame with infills carved with a combination of floral motifs and calligraphy. The calligraphy motifs are of the names of prophets' descendants and carved using the embossed technique. The madrasah was designed with the mihrab located at the front to indicate the direction of the qibla, and it is the location where the teacher stays during lessons. The mihrab holds luxurious ornamentation of carvings, adding aesthetic value to the madrasah. The shape of the pattern among the carvings encompasses the motif of bunga cintamani, starting from its flowers accompanied with spiral flourishing leaves described as langka suka motifs. The pattern emerges from the punca bunga as a point of origin. The form combines the features of a single and a screen pattern, called as pola lengkap or pola induk. There are 2 types of windows, which are waist-height openings with short shutters that can be opened and closed. The double casement windows with timber frames can be found on all 3 walls surrounding the main prayer hall. It is constructed as part of dinding berhias or dinding kembung wall panel, connecting the exterior to the interior of the surau, allowing natural ventilation and daylight. Louvers were built as lubang angin or sisik angin at the upper part of the wall panels, carved with decorative ornamentation with the technique of tebuk tembus. The louvers function in both ventilation and natural lighting of the building. Most of the motifs carved are of local flowers, namely bunga ketumbit, bunga Cina, bunga kesidang, bunga cempaka, bunga cengkeh, bunga bercola kelopak lapan, and bunga cinta mani. They are all carved with the technique of tebuk tembus timbul. The nature of the motifs in the carvings as ornamentations increase the beauty of the madrasah. The ornamentations carved at the lower panel of the walls, both inside and outside, completely functions as decorations, using the same technique of tebuk timbul. Stylized in a symmetrical pattern on both horizontal and vertical axes, it portrays a sense of balance. All of the carvings are different as it represents the gift of love by the students of the surau. The minaret is a three-tiered structure supported by 4 timber columns given by Sultan Ahmad Tajuddin Mukarram Shah. The octagonal design of the roof provides a distinctive look to the minaret. A rounded buah buton measuring about 90 cm complements the dome decoration. It is positioned at the top of the minaret, making it the landmark of the surau that can be seen from afar. Being one of the most significant features of the madrasah, it holds an important function, which is to call the faithful to pray at prayer times. Apart from being an azan minaret, it is to announce the arrival of the sultan or his representative at a function or meeting, and when important royal decisions are made. After its transfer from Balai Besar, Balai Nobat was used as an azan minaret. Balai Nobat was meant to be 3 stories, but as an azan minaret, the lower story was used to place a bedok, a traditional instrument used for prayer calling. For the royal funeral ceremony, the 3rd floor was used to hold a group of Nobat players to announce the death of royalties. Madrasah Tok Janggut had undergone numerous renovations throughout its existence. Before 1890, the emergence of the madrasah commenced when Haji Ahmad Tua started his own classes near the Langgar River. The madrasah was surrounded by many single-spaced huts where the students used to live. The pondoks were built within the vicinity of the madrasah in linear arrangements. It was fully constructed from timber materials with the help of the villagers and students. The spaces of the madrasah then consisted of the main prayer hall and the male ablution area. 10 years after the construction of the madrasah was completed, the female prayer hall were added. Eventually, after the marriage of Haji Ahmad Tua's daughter, Hajah Maisarah, he handed over the responsibility of running the madrasah to his son-in-law, Haji Ahmad Yasin, who was also one of the instructors at the madrasah, known as Tok Janggut. After the transfer of ownership of the madrasah, Tok Janggut brought his house from Merbok. The house was then connected to the existing house of Tuan Haji Ahmad Tua by a timber platform, or selang. The house was transported through the nearby river. In the year of 1896, the original octagonal timber tower of Balai Nobat was moved from Balai Besar at Tanjung Chali along with the 4 columns. The tower was given as a gift by the 3rd Sultan of Kedah to the madrasah. In 1955, the roofing of the madrasah was replaced from nipah leaves to zinc. In 1990, the timber platform connecting Rumah Tok Janggut and the madrasah was demolished and removed. In 2005, a big flood occurred in Langgar. The columns of the minaret have slanted to one side due to soil movement. In the spirit of preserving their spiritual place and for the safety of the congregation, the villagers had collectively repositioned the column to its original position. In 2010, the ablution or wudu area was renovated and deepened to meet the needs of the increased number of users. Now, in 2019, Madrasah Tok Janggut, the oldest pondok, still functions to conduct daily religious lessons, prayers and Quran recitation sessions by the Tahfiz students from a nearby school. Throughout history, architecture symbolizes the civilization of the people. In the case of Madrasah Tok Janggut, the architectural heritage reflects the identity, culture, and Islamic belief of the local kampung people. The modest architecture is even more captivating when its history comes into play. The indigenous architecture of the madrasah reveals the strength of the community from how it was planned and constructed. In a way, the madrasah or balai, as it is known to the locals, has connected everyone from all walks of life. This madrasah is a testament of how considerations for climate, geography, material, existing technology, respect of culture, and belief can result in a beautiful, unique, sustainable architecture. The use of floral motifs in the carvings and ornamentations complying with Islamic law increases the beauty of the madrasah. The symbolic meaning behind the carvings showcases the culture that existed in Langgar. The carvings are a symbol of gratitude of the students towards its institution. Madrasah Tok Janggut truly represents the humbleness of early Islamic institutions in Kedah as an architecture of serene humility.